Hi guys, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight I'm making a tomato basil crumbled feta dip. It's going to be so delicious, you're gonna love it. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started with my crumble feta dip. It's going to be delicious. So I picked up this feta here. It's 8 ounces, so we need 2 of these, a total of 16 ounces of crumbled feta. Now this one is tomato and basil feta cheese. So I started to open the package and it still has a little bit of the brine juice in here, so you don't want it to spill. So basically I'm doing 2 of these and then I'm going to start crumbling them in my bowl, and then we will get to the next step. Okay, so in here I have my 2 8-ounce packages of tomato and basil feta. If you can't find tomato and basil feta, just use regular feta cheese. You can use the one that's already crumbled. I prefer to crumble it myself because I like it and I think it's fresher when it's in the brine. So this is my feta. It's all crumbled. Now we're going to just start adding some ingredients and it's done in no time. So we need 1/3 cup of chopped banana peppers. So it's 1/3 cup. Then we need 1/3 cup of finely chopped red pepper. Okay. Then we need 1/3 cup of finely chopped red onion. Okay, and then we're going to mix this here together. This is such a great dip. You're going to eat it with like a Stacy chip or like a piece of bread or like or a cracker. So just blend this all together. This is how quick it is. Now you can use, I'm going to use Italian, like an Italian dressing, but I'm making it on my own. So look how good that looks. So just mix it up. And now we're going to work on my dressing real quick. So for my dressing, I have my bowl here, and I'm going to add 1/2 cup of olive oil. Okay, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. And then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, which has oregano and thyme and rosemary. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add that right in. And then mix it up. Okay. Look at that. Okay. And now all we do is take this dressing that we made here and we just pour it over our feta dip here. So I'm just going to mix it in, and then what we do is we refrigerate the dip for a little bit so all the flavors are well combined. So see, just mix it in. And that is my dip. Look how good that looks. So I'm going to refrigerate it, but let me see. I have these little hummus crackers. You ever have hummus crisps? Oh, they're delicious. This one's a feta, garlic, and herb. Just got that yesterday. So I'm going to have it with that right now so I could show you, tell you about the flavor. So look how good that looks. Amazing. So this is a great dip for any time of year. It's a great dip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refrigerate this, and once it's refrigerated for like 30 minutes, it's good to go. You want more dressing, add more, but that's more than enough. So I'm going to put it in my little bowl here. And then I'm going to refrigerate it in this bowl because
It has a lid, and then when you're having a party, you could just take the bowl out, and it's a great presentation. So I'm just going to refrigerate this, and this is my crumbled feta dip. I hope you try it. Thank you so much for watching. I told you it was very quick.
Hi everyone, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight I'm making a taco dip. It's going to be delicious and you're going to love it. So let's get started. Okay, so we are making a taco dip and it's going to be amazing. I've been making this for years. It's simple, easy, and everyone's gonna love it. So you need 1 pound of ground beef. So that's my ground beef. This is 93% lean, 7% fat. So as if you were making tacos, that's how it starts out. So it's basically ground beef. We're gonna get this browned up. And then we're gonna use 2 packs of taco seasoning. I use 2 packs, they're 1 ounce each, because I feel like 1 pack is not enough flavor for me. So I'm gonna do 2 packs. I'm just gonna get this browned first, and then we will get to those steps. So this is gonna be a few minutes, okay? And then we will get to the next step in a few moments. Okay, so that was only a few minutes. I drained the fat out, just so you know, and then I'm taking my taco seasoning. Just get your favorite taco seasoning, whichever it is. 2 packs, that's 2 ounces. So mix it in here. Let it get on every piece of meat. Okay. And then I'm gonna add 2/3 cup of water in here. Okay. Just mix that up. Okay. And then just let it saute for about maybe under 5 minutes. We just want all that flavor to get in here. Okay. So this part is done. So now I'm gonna just leave it here just for a few minutes, and then we're gonna do the next steps. And it comes together so quickly. It is like the best taco dip ever. Okay, so we'll get to the next step. Okay, so this is shredded lettuce. I have it all ready to go. Okay, then I have chopped tomatoes that are gonna go on top. And I have 1 cup of white cheddar cheese, or you can use the Mexican blend. It's more than fine. So these are my toppings. And then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so the next step is you need 1 container, 8 ounces of whipped cream cheese. Whipped. So take this whipped cream cheese and leave it out room temperature for a little bit. Okay, so it's 1 container. And then we need a jar of salsa. Okay. So start adding your salsa in. And we'll just do the whole jar. So blend it into the cream cheese.
I know it seems weird, but it's not. It is so delicious. Okay, so just mix it up. So the cream cheese was 8 ounces. You could have probably done an 8-ounce jar of the salsa, but what I did was just perfectly fine. Okay, so that is well blended. Okay. And this is all we need. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start layering it on our plate right now, and that'll be the next step. Okay, so you get yourself a nice size plate, and then right in the center, you're going to add your ground beef. Okay. Here we go. Just push it down. Okay. So let it, maybe a 1/2 inch high. Okay, push it down. And then we start adding our salsa and cream cheese mixture on top. Okay. You could put the whole thing on. It's okay if it falls over. So good. This is so good. My mouth's watering. Okay, so then after that, you need a little bit of sour cream. So probably about 1/2 cup or so of sour cream. Just kind of add it right on top. It's probably more than, actually just do enough to cover the top here. So it's probably going to be 3/4 cups to a cup of sour cream. Okay, just move it around. Layer it nicely. Okay. Okay. The next thing is, this is how quick it comes together. So just take some of your cheese, add some of your cheese on top. Okay, and then grab all your lettuce, add your lettuce on top of that. Okay, so I just did romaine lettuce and I sliced it really thin. Okay, right there, and then take your tomatoes. This is about a medium-sized tomato, and then you just add that on top. Look how good that looks. Okay, and then take the rest of your cheese and add it right on top. Okay, and then get your favorite tortilla chips. Look at that. Bring this to someone's house. They're gonna love it. This is my taco dip. Look how great that looks. Look at that. So great. I'm gonna take a picture and I will show you me scooping it out on a plate. But I just want to take a picture before I scoop into it. Okay, so here's my taco dip with my tortillas. You can either just scoop it up this way and try to grab everything, or you can just Add a spoon to the plate and scoop it up that way. And then you get a bit of everything. So this is an amazing taco dip and you're going to love it. I hope you try it, and I thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. Amazing. Thank you for watching what's on my plate.
Hi everyone, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight, I'm making a caprese salad. It's going to be delicious and you're going to love it. So let's get started.
Okay, so we need 4 tomatoes, and I already have the pre-sliced fresh mozzarella. I usually get the mozzarella ball and I slice it myself. I couldn't find it at the supermarket, so I just got the pre-sliced. So, you know, it's just long, it's not that fat, so I wanted to get tomatoes that can match up with it. So just get a tomato. If you get this type of sliced mozzarella, just get a tomato that's the same size. It'll just look more presentable. So I'm just gonna slice my tomato. Okay, like it's probably about a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch, whatever size you want. So I'm gonna slice all my tomatoes. And there's about 18 pieces of mozzarella. I counted them. So we need to have the same amount of tomatoes. So you don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be like a good bite. Okay. So I'm going to finish slicing the rest of these tomatoes. And then I'll show you the next step. Okay, actually, I'll just finish slicing it. Okay, and one more. And these tomatoes are very juicy. Okay, so these are all my tomatoes, and because they're so juicy, I don't want my plate filled with tomato juice. So like what I do is I just lay a paper towel to absorb some of the tomato juice. Otherwise it's going to drip all over the plate and we don't want that. So just put them on a paper towel to absorb some of the juice. Okay. And then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so the next thing I do here is I don't layer it right on a plate with the mozzarella. I actually take the tomatoes, lay them out, and I salt and pepper them. Because you want that flavor on every tomato. If you're putting it all together and then you're salting and peppering it, that means you're salt and peppering the mozzarella, and it's not getting on the whole tomato is my point. So I just lay them down like this, and then I just sprinkle a little bit of salt all over them. Okay, and then I pepper them. Okay, and then I start layering them on the plate with the mozzarella. So now these are perfectly seasoned. Again, because like if you don't do this and you just put them on the plate with the mozzarella, you're not going to have all that seasoning on the tomato like you're going to have if you do it this way. So we'll get to the next step and we'll start layering them. Okay, so the pre-sliced mozzarella has a lot of juice in here, so I'd like to take it out of the package. Okay, And then separate them here so all this juice doesn't go all over the tomatoes. Okay. See how this is so quick and easy, and it's delicious. I mean, this is just like a classic, but I'm gonna put my chimichurri sauce that we're gonna make next, and it's going to be wow. Okay, so let's just start layering. Okay. Tomato, mozzarella. And this is such a good, refreshing appetizer. Any time of year, this is just so good. Okay. That. Okay. Look at that. Look at how good that looks. I'm going to try to get the rest of these in here too. So we'll get everything in here. I think it can all fit. Okay. 3 more pieces. Okay. There, and then let's do this one. Actually, there's 2 more pieces. Yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. And I have 1 more tomato left. I'll just eat this one. So refreshing. Okay, now the next thing is we need balsamic glaze. I love it. I always use balsamic glaze. So just put it on it. Just sprinkle all over. Look how nice that looks. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to work on my chimichurri right now, and we're just going to add that on top, and it's going to be over the top. Look how good this looks. Sorry if you weren't able to see the whole thing, but look. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so I'm going to work on the chimichurri, add that on top, and then it's ready to go. Okay, so for my chimichurri sauce, you need a bunch of parsley. You can use basil, but I'm using parsley today. I like to use parsley when I do my chimichurri. So this is about a cup of parsley. So you just need a bunch of it. Just grab the pack that they have at the supermarket. So parsley goes in, and then we need a half a cup of olive oil. Then we need 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Okay, and then we need 2 garlic cloves. Then we need a half a teaspoon of oregano. Okay. We need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. 1/8 of a teaspoon of chili powder. Okay, and I've made this on my channel before, so I will put that link in the description. So this just gets pureed in the food processor, and it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this whipped up, and then that is my chimichurri sauce. That'll be the next step. Okay, blending up my chimichurri sauce. So blend it till it's smooth to your liking. Okay. Remove the lid. Let's take a good look. Look how good that looks. Yum. Okay, so now we're going to drizzle this on top of the caprese salad. Okay, so here's my chimichurri sauce. Mix it up and then just start drizzling it right on top. And you do not need that much because it has so much flavor. The chimichurri sauce on its own has so much flavor. And then the mozzarella and tomatoes and that balsamic drizzle have so much flavor as well. And then if you have leftover chimichurri sauce, which you're going to have, go ahead and add that on a piece of fish, on a piece of steak, on your potatoes. It's delicious. So I'm just gonna do another little drizzle. That's it. That's my caprese salad. Look how great that looks. I'll give you a close-up. Look at that. It's a great appetizer. You're gonna love it. Okay, I'm gonna take some out and I'm gonna put it on my plate right here so you can see. Add it to my plate. Look how good that looks. I'll give you a close-up. Look at that. And just cut into it. Get a piece of mozzarella as well. And this is a perfect bite. Thank you so much for watching what's on my plate.
Hi guys, welcome back to what's on my plate. So for tonight, I'm making bruschetta. It's a great appetizer and you're going to love it. So let's get started.
Okay, so tonight I'm making a bruschetta. This is an appetizer, so quick and easy and delicious. So I got an Italian bread and I'm slicing it about 1/4 inch thick. You can do it thinner if you want. So just you're gonna eat the whole thing for sure. And if you don't, you could just Ziploc it and it's good for the next day. So you just cut all the pieces and then we're gonna line a baking tray with foil and grease it, and then we're gonna season the bread and get it in the oven. That is why I started with the bread first, because this is just gonna be about a few minutes, and then we'll go and work on the tomatoes next. So we'll get this on the tray and I'll show you how I season it, and that'll be the next step. Okay, so I have 2 baking trays. I had a lot of bread. So you're just gonna take a bottle of extra virgin olive oil and you're just gonna drizzle your olive oil all over each one. Okay, and we're gonna do this for the front and the back, both sides. So I'm gonna do all of them. Okay. There we go. And so then I'm going to salt and pepper. So this is sea salt. So just sprinkle it all over. Okay. And then I'm gonna add some pepper. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of paprika. Okay. Paprika gives it color and it gives it flavor. See how quick this is? So I'm going to flip them over and do the other side. And then it's going to go in a 425 degree oven, approximately 3 to 4 minutes aside, maybe less. Just check on it. Once it starts browning, take the tray out, flip each one, and then put it back in, and it's going to be amazing. And again, if you have any leftovers, just put them in a little Ziploc or a container, and it'll be good the next day. So I'll show you a close-up. Look how good that looks. Okay, and so I'm going to do the other side, and I will show you, and then I will get it in the oven. Okay, I seasoned both sides, olive oil, salt, pepper, and paprika. And in the oven it goes, again, at 425 degrees. Okay, so my bread's done already. So basically it was around 3 to 4 minutes aside. They didn't get too crispy. I didn't want them to burn, but they have amazing color and they're crunchy. So I'm going to set these aside and we're going to work on the tomatoes now. Okay, so I'm going to start with my onion. I got a red onion. This is really large. We don't need the whole thing. You just need a medium onion, and then you just dice it up. Okay. And then we're going to need 3 cloves of garlic, and I chopped them just because I want them to have more of a bite. So I just chopped them right here. So this is more than enough. So this is just a medium onion diced up, 3 cloves of garlic. I chopped them, and I'm going to go work on my tomatoes now. So I like to use Roma tomatoes, and the reason why is it's because they exude less juice than any other tomato, I feel. So I have 6 of them here. So I'm going to go ahead and start chopping these, and then we'll just put it together. And our dip is ready. It just needs to be refrigerated for a while. So that'll be the next step. Okay, so I have cut my tomatoes up. So there's 6 of them. And I did say it doesn't exude as much juice. It does have juice because you could see all of it here. It's just not as juicy, I feel, as other tomatoes. And it actually has more of like a bite. It just doesn't fall apart easily. That is why I like to use Roma tomatoes for a bruschetta, for a pico de gallo. So I just slice them 1/4 inch thick. Okay. And then all I do is I just slice, and then cut it, and just it's little chunks. So I'm going to do that for all of it. So just slice, and you can cut it once, twice, just little chunks. And then just go ahead and put it in the bowl with your onion. And then we're going to add the garlic. I'm sure everyone knows how to make bruschetta, but it's just a great appetizer, and it's nice to remind and remember to make it. So I'm going to finish up chopping these tomatoes, and then we will go ahead and add everything to the bowl, and then we will start to season it. And you see how easy it is just to chop them? Okay, just chop it. Okay, I'm going to finish this up, and then I will show you after it's done. Okay, so I have all my tomatoes chopped in here, my onion, and my 3 cloves of chopped garlic. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, you can add more if you want. It's good. If you add more, it'll just be more more juices to dip your bread in. And then we're going to go ahead and add sea salt. And I usually just sprinkle it on. I just will measure it for you. This is sea salt. Okay. So we're going to do 1.5 teaspoons, and then you can taste it and see if it needs more. But I would taste it when you're ready to eat it, because you need to refrigerate this for 30 minutes or longer, and then just mix it up and then taste it. Add more seasoning if you want. And I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And that's it. That's all it needs. Salt, pepper, garlic, tomato, olive oil, and just mix it all up. So I said it was 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. Add more if you want. This is going to taste great the next day. And just put it in the fridge if you're going to have it for the same day, at least 30 minutes. Okay? And taste it. If you want, you can sprinkle some parsley in here. If you want, it doesn't need it. And then you have like the bread here. Just get it into a bowl and just dip it in. And there's your bite. So good. So this is my bruschetta. My bruschetta recipe. I'm going to go ahead and refrigerate this. And I thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. And here's a close-up of it. It's delicious. Hi guys, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight, I'm making an appetizer, stuffed mushrooms. They're absolutely delicious. You're gonna love it. They are so easy and quick to make with not that many ingredients. And this is the only way I make my stuffed mushrooms. So let's get started. Okay, to get started with these stuffed mushrooms, we're gonna need 5 pieces of bacon. So go ahead and start cooking the bacon in your skillet, and then we will remove the bacon, put it on a paper towel to absorb the oil, but the juices we're going to leave in the pan, and we're going to add butter to it, and then we're going to start sauteing everything. So I'm just going to let my bacon cook, and we'll get to the next step. Okay, here is a medium to large onion diced very finely, not too fine, but you know, just dice up your onion. And then I have 3 cloves of minced garlic over here, and we're going to need breadcrumbs, and we need some butter, and of course the mushrooms. So we're going to get to those steps next. Okay, so I removed my bacon, I set it aside. I'm going to chop the bacon up after it cools, but we're working on the mushrooms now. So these are white mushrooms. I have 2 packs here. I did have 3, but I used the other pack the other day. So basically this recipe is like for 24 mushrooms, and they could be smaller than this. Okay, so you need mushrooms with the stem. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the stems. Just push it and it pops right out. And we're just going to wipe down the stem, and we're going to chop all the stems. And then just leave the mushroom on the side for now. And that's the next step. Also, my bacon grease is in here, and I put a 1/3 cup of butter in here to melt. I'm going to just leave it on the side because I need to get my mushroom stems chopped first. Okay, so I removed all the mushroom stems, and I'm just going to start chopping them up just like this, and just cut them in little pieces. Just keep chopping them. And I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to show you a very, very great thing about the mushrooms. So you can take these mushrooms, right? You took the stem out, you wiped them down. But when you stuff mushrooms, this is a huge tip. You remove the skin. So you remove all the skin off the mushroom. And this is how the mushrooms are going to be absolutely delicious. Besides, you know, what we're putting in. This is the difference between being kind of gummy or like mouth-watering mushrooms. So that is my tip for you. Just peel the skin. So I'm going to start finish chopping this, and then we're going to start sauteing everything in the butter and the bacon juice. So here's all my chopped up mushroom stems. I have my onion, I have my garlic, and I'm going to start chopping my bacon, and I'm just going to finish peeling my mushrooms, and we're going to start sauteing. Okay, so in my skillet here's the bacon juice and the butter, and I'm just going to get some of the bacon bits off the bottom here, and the butter just has to melt. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to add our onion. So here's my onion. We're going to saute the onion and the stems of the mushroom together. Okay, and it's probably going to saute for about a few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes or less. We just want the onions to get a little translucent. So I'm just going to saute this here. And then I will, after the 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic in here. And then we just need some breadcrumbs, and we need the bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and chop the bacon while this is sauteing. Okay, so now it's been about close to 5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my garlic in and my bacon. Okay, so blend this, and I don't think I said, but you need to cook the mushroom stems and the onion on like a low heat, because we don't want them to drink all the butter. So just keep this on here now. Mix this up here for about 30 seconds or so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a half a cup of Italian style breadcrumbs. So that was the next step. So this is just going to be a 30-second thing here. And then we'll add the breadcrumbs. You basically can shut it off now. And then we start adding the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs are here to drink up all the leftover butter and bacon juice. So just sprinkle this all over the top. If you feel like you've already added enough breadcrumbs, just don't add the whole thing. You just want it to absorb all the butter. And if it's done that already with less breadcrumbs, then you don't need the whole thing. Okay, so just blend this together. Look how good that looks. So I'm going to just set this aside. So I used, I'm just going to put the rest in. So it's a half a cup of breadcrumbs. Okay, and then just set this aside. The oven's, the stovetop is off. Preheat your oven to 375. And then I'm going to show you my mushrooms. I have them on a baking sheet, so I'll show you that next. They are on a piece of foil. The foil is greased. I'm going to use my vegetable spray here, and I'm going to spray the top of all the mushrooms. Okay, and then what you do is you just basically flip them all over now, and we're going to start stuffing them. And they're going to go in a 375-degree oven for approximately 25 to 30 minutes. And you can definitely make these ahead of time. Like the night before, you can make the whole stuffing that goes inside. You can get all your mushrooms, put them in a big Ziploc bag, and they'll stay nice and fresh. And this recipe, again, yields about 24 mushrooms, but I wound up using my other pack. But yeah, this is my stuffed mushroom recipe. I know you guys are going to love it. So let me get this stuffed now, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so you just get your mushroom and you take the stuffing part and you just push it in. See? Just like that. And stuff it as much as you can. And then just keep doing each one of them. So just a big heaping spoonful. So these are my mushrooms. So I'm just going to finish these. I'm going to get them in the oven for 25 minutes or 30. I'll just gauge it when I open up the oven and see what they look like. So I think 25 minutes should be enough. Okay, so here's my stuffed mushrooms. They smell absolutely delicious. So thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. Enjoy. Hi guys, welcome back to what's on my plate. So for tonight I'm making zucchini fritters. They could be an appetizer or a side dish. They're absolutely delicious. You're gonna love it. So let's get started. Okay, so I am making zucchini fritters. They're gonna be delicious. This is an appetizer or a side if you want. So here I shredded 3 small zucchinis. I have laid it here on my tray, put a paper towel underneath. I sprinkled some salt on this, just a little bit, and then mixed it up because the salt makes the water come out quicker. And so then you put another paper towel on top and then just set this aside for about 15 minutes or so, even longer. If you want to just shred it and come back to it in an hour, that's fine. It's not going to turn, especially because you put the salt on this. So this is all done for me now. So we're going to just get to the step of putting it all together. This is going to be such a great zucchini fritter. I love my vegetables and it's just going to be so good. All right, so I'm going to take all the zucchini here and I'm just going to add it into a large bowl. Okay, so I got all my zucchini in here. So it's 3 cups. And then what we're going to need is 2 cloves of minced garlic. So I already did that. I'm going to add that in here. Then you need chopped green onion. So you need about 2 pieces of the chopped green onion. You can cut it as small as you want. I just chopped it. Then you're going to need a sprinkle of salt, just a sprinkle. You're going to need a sprinkle of pepper. Then you're going to need about a tablespoon or 2 of lemon juice. If you really want it to be lemony, put 2 tablespoons. If not, just do 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So I'm going to squeeze this in here. And then I have a little pit here. I got to get the pit. Okay. So that's a tablespoon. And then we're going to need about 1/8 cup of crumbled feta. Just 1/8 cup. You could put a 1/3 cup of feta in here. But I'm just putting 1/8 cup of feta. Then you need 1 tablespoon of dill. So I have to get the dill. Okay, let me get my dill. It's frozen. Okay, so you need a tablespoon of dill. So fresh dill. The fresh ingredients is what makes your dishes taste like really good. So I suggest always use fresh ingredients. And then we're going to do 1 large egg. So get the egg in here. Okay. Then we're just going to kind of whisk the egg a little bit here. And then just blend this all together. Okay. And then we're going to put 1/3 of Italian breadcrumbs. So mix all this up. Okay, so now the mixture is done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start forming them into little balls or little flat patties, and we're gonna put all-purpose flour all over them, and then we're gonna start frying them. Okay, so we'll get to that step next. Okay, so what I start doing is I just grab a little bit in my hand and just work with it gently. And I just am actually making a little meatball. And then when I'm frying it, I'm going to push it down. So I'm going to start making all of these, and then I'm going to put, dip them all in flour. So I'm just going to do a few, but this is what I do. It's very delicate, so it's just work with it like slowly if you could. And you can make them as big as you want, as small as you want. And I'll tell you, after you fry them and you have leftovers, the next day you take those and you put them right in a 425-degree oven and heat them up, and it's just like you made them. So I would double the batch if you're doing it as an appetizer for a party. This is going to be my side dish. I would just eat this by itself. So yeah, so I'm just going to finish making these into little balls here, and then I will show you when I get to the step of doing the flour. Okay, so this batch yielded me around 12. I made them in different sizes, so it actually made 11, but you can make 12 with this whole batch. And if you want to make more, just double it up, and then you can have a whole bunch and have it as an appetizer. And again, you can just make them all and heat them up, and you can make them the night before. So now I'm going to take the flour and I'm going to just dust them with flour, and then we're going to start frying them. Okay, so here I'm going to add probably need about a 1/4 cup of flour, maybe a 1/2 cup. We're just going to dust them into, like, just roll them around into the flour and just be gentle with them. Okay, and then just shake off the excess flour. And then I'm just going to do it for every single one of these. So this is a really great appetizer, and it has so much flavor. You can eat this with like the Greek yogurt sauce, or just no, you don't have to eat it with anything. This just has so much flavor on its own. And you can leave them in the side like the way they are now, as in a ball, or you can just squish them down and make them into like a little patty or like a fritter, which is, you know, in weird shapes. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish these, and then I'm going to start heating up my oil. So I'm going to do half olive oil and half vegetable oil in a skillet, and I'm going to start heating that up, and we'll get to the next step. Okay, so in my skillet here, it's heated up. I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my little zucchini fritters. Okay, and they're going to need about 3 minutes aside. If they're too big, they might need a little longer, but it's approximately 3 minutes aside. We don't want them to burn. Okay, so I'm just going to let these cook for about the 3 minutes, like I said. And then when it starts to cook, I'm going to just start pushing them down so they can be more flat. Okay, so let these get cooking, and we'll get to the next step. Okay, so as they're still cooking, it's only been a minute. I'm just going to start pushing them down just a little bit. Okay, so I'll just continue to cook, and then we'll flip them when the 3 minutes are up. It might be 3 minutes, it might be 4 minutes, just keep an eye on them. And I have it on medium heat. Okay, so the 3 minutes are done. So what I suggest is just lift it up and see if it's brown enough. If it's not, then just leave it a little longer, but we don't really want them to burn. So I'm just gonna flip each one of these. Okay, just be gentle with them. And then I'll just cook it on this side for 3 minutes also, and then we're just gonna drain them on a paper towel and they're ready to eat. So we'll get to that step after. Okay, so my fritters are done and they're on a paper towel to absorb all the oil. I'm gonna plate it and I'm gonna show you. Okay, so here they are. They smell delicious and I'm so excited to eat these. I make these all the time. So thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. These are too hot to cut, so I would show you the inside. Actually, I can, but let me go ahead and do that. So you can see how delicious it looks inside too. So here, I'll just grab this one. Okay. So let's see. See, it all stayed intact. The zucchini is perfectly cooked, and it's absolutely delicious. Let me grab a piece here. Okay, thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. This is a great appetizer, a great side dish. These are my zucchini fritters. Thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. Enjoy.
Hi guys, welcome back to what's on my plate. So for today I'm making an appetizer, stuffed mushrooms with artichokes and roasted red peppers, and it's going to be delicious and it's quick and easy and you're going to love it. So let's get started.
Okay, so let's get started with my stuffed mushrooms. So these are white mushrooms. They're pretty large, and I just wiped them down, and there's about 15 here, and it's about 24 ounces, like a whole 24-ounce pack probably. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove the stem, and then just remove the stems, and then we're going to chop these up, and then I peel the skin off. So just when they're larger, it's so easy to peel the skin off. So I'm going to just peel the skin for all of them. So again, it's just break the stem off and then just peel the skin back. See how quick and easy that is? Okay, so I'm just going to finish up peeling all the skin off of all of these, and then we're going to get to chopping the stems. That is the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to chop up all the stems. Okay. So we're going to just chop all the stems for all of this, all these mushrooms. And you could just cut them in half. You just want them into little pieces. Okay, just little pieces. And I'm going to do the rest of these, and then we'll come back and we'll get to the next step. Okay, so to get started with our stuffed mushrooms, we need a half a cup of roasted red peppers. So I bought a jar and then I just rough chopped it. This is a shallot, just one large shallot. This is a half a cup of crumbled feta cheese. I have 3 cloves of garlic here that I already minced up. And then I have a whole can of artichoke hearts. I drained it and I laid it on a paper towel to absorb the rest of the juices. Okay, and then this, I'm just going to give it a little rough chop as well. Okay, just a little rough chop. Try to make it as you know, smaller pieces. We don't want them to be too big. Okay, so a rough chop. Okay, and then after this, we'll get to the next step. We're gonna start sauteing everything. So that is the next step. Okay, so in a skillet, I added 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm heating it up. And once the butter starts to melt, we're gonna start adding the shallot and the mushroom stems. That's the next step. Okay, so now that the butter has melted, I'm gonna go ahead and add the chopped mushroom stems. Okay. Okay, so now I added the chopped mushroom stems, and I'm going to add the shallot. Okay, that's the shallot. Okay, so this is going to saute on a medium-high heat just until the stems are softened. Okay, and then to this I'm going to add a sprinkle of sea salt, just a sprinkle. Okay, and a sprinkle of pepper, coarse ground pepper. I got so excited. I know I said it the last time I made something, but like, it just seems fancy. But just a sprinkle of pepper and a sprinkle of salt. So this is probably going to be about 3 to 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, maybe lower the heat to medium. Okay, and then once that is the time is up, we're going to go ahead and start adding the artichokes and the roasted red pepper and the garlic. So that'll be the next step. Okay, so now that the time, about 3 to 5 minutes is up here, I'm going to go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, just a half a teaspoon so everything gets flavor. The Italian seasoning that I use is just thyme, rosemary, marjoram, oregano, savory basil, and sage. So just a half a teaspoon of that. And then just mix it in. Okay. And the next thing is we're going to go ahead and start adding our artichokes. So the artichokes going next. I'm going to saute these. So if they have any more juices, it's all going to come out. And then I'm going to add the roasted red peppers. Okay. So now this is going to go for a few more moments. Just mix it up. Okay. So now that I added the artichokes, I'm just going to go ahead and just do another little sprinkle of salt because we are adding the feta cheese in here. So just a sprinkle, like a sprinkle. Okay, then let this go for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic after that. And that'll be the next step. So this is going to be a really great mushroom. I always ate my stuffed mushrooms one certain way that I loved. So I started making them a little different. You don't need to add the stems if you don't want. If you're going to fully pack the mushroom, you don't always need the stem. But if you want, you can add it. If you don't, you can leave it out. So we'll just get to the next step after 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so now the next step is to add our garlic. Go ahead. So now this is going to be about just 30 seconds to a minute. And this does smell wonderful. Okay, so mix it up. Okay, and now after the 30 seconds to a minute, we're going to start adding our feta cheese in here. And the feta cheese is going to start getting a little bit melty, and that's perfectly fine. That's what we want. So we'll just give it a minute for this, and we'll get to the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to add my half a cup of crumbled feta in here. Okay, the rest of it in here. Okay, this part just needs like a minute. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding our Italian style breadcrumbs. And you only need enough to absorb any juices. So I'm starting with a 1/4 cup. Okay, so then just mix this up. And I'm going to actually shut the heat off at this point. So that was just a 1/4 cup. So the breadcrumbs have their own flavor all on their own. So they're just going to absorb the juices. Let's see if we need any more. If yours needs more, just go ahead and add it. I might just add another little sprinkle. Okay, so it's basically a 1/4 cup. If you need more, then you can add more. Okay, and so now this is done. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all my mushrooms on a baking sheet, greased. I'm going to put foil down, grease the foil, and then we're going to start stuffing the mushrooms. And then in the oven they go. So we'll get to that step. Okay, so now I'm going to start stuffing them. So just start stuffing it. You could push down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do now is just completely stuff my mushrooms. Look how good those look, and they smell great. And I'm going to finish stuffing these. And then what I'm going to do is put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, because I want the mushroom to cook. So on my baking sheet, I have greased it. And so I'm just going to finish stuffing it. And then in the oven they go. And then when they're done, I will show you. I'm going to sprinkle them with paprika as well. So let me finish stuffing these, and then we'll go ahead and sprinkle them with some paprika. And definitely tell me what's your favorite stuffed mushroom, because I really only had like one that I loved the way I made, but I started making more different ones. And so yeah, let me know, and let me know what your favorite appetizers are. Appetizers are amazing. So let me know. All right, so let me finish here, and I will show you when I'm done. Okay, so now my mushrooms are all stuffed, and I'm going to sprinkle some paprika on top of each one. Okay. And the filling is amazing. I already had some. So this is my stuffed artichoke and roasted red pepper mushrooms. And I thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. And I hope you try these. I'm going to get these in the oven, again, 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. And the reason why I'm cooking it on such a high heat is because I want the mushroom to exude whatever water it has in it, and I want it to be cooked. So that's why I'm doing it at that temperature, and I will show you when I'm done. Okay, so my mushrooms are done. I had them in for 20 minutes. If you think they need longer, go ahead and leave them in. But look how good they look. I'll plate them and I will show you. And again, I tasted the filling before I put them in the oven and it was amazing. Okay, so here's my stuffed mushrooms. I put them on a platter and I have one here on my plate. And I'm gonna go ahead and sink into this. If they were smaller, you could just pop it right in your mouth. But this doesn't matter because it's so good. Super flavorful. You have to try it. The stuffed mushrooms are amazing. And again, thank you so much for watching What's on My Plate.